G'day. Formula One is one of the most exhilarating and glamorous sports in the world. Drivers are known for their immense talent, their love for speed, and their non-stop lifestyle. However, the life of an F1 driver is not as glamorous as it sometimes may seem, and certainly maintaining relationships is tricky at best. One of the biggest hurdles drivers face when it comes to maintaining relationships is the constant travel. This year we have 23 races over 9 months, which sees most of the drivers on the road for around half the year. What with attending races, jetting off to sponsor events, flying back to the team headquarters for simulator work and training. Most are based in Monaco, but during the season they're there for just short periods of time, which is not great if you're trying to maintain a relationship. Let me introduce you to the current crop of wives and girlfriends I've met at the track. Corolla, Kelly, Isa, Carmen, Elena, Francisca, Tiffany, Lily 1, Andrea, Louise, Sunny, Eva, and Lily 2. Oh, and there's one other who remains anonymous. Now, most of these women have attended races with their partners, but they have family, work, and study commitments too, so it's not like they're at every race. Obviously, those who can work remotely are able to attend more races than those who have to study or attend workplaces. And when they do accompany them on a race weekend, there's very little time for them to spend with their driving partner. Why? Well, have a look at a typical track day rundown. It's commitment after commitment after commitment, with everybody wanting their minutes or hours with the driver. I know most of the girlfriends. They've all attended a track at some point, and a couple of them have admitted that it can be a very long and boring day in the paddock. I've ended up chatting with a couple of them in the media centre after Saturday quali while they've waited for their boyfriends to finish in engineering meetings. And when they finally get the driver to themselves, he often just wants to rest. And you can understand that. Then there's the constant pressure to perform. It can be overwhelming, and it can be difficult for drivers to focus on anything else, including relationships. Additionally, the pressure to win is taxing, and that driver often will go from tremendous highs to very deep lows, and the partner often has to bear the brunt of these moods. The media spotlight is also a challenge for Formula One drivers when it comes to maintaining those relationships. Sometimes the simple act of talking to a woman in a social situation can be misrepresented in the media. The private lives of F1 drivers is of huge interest to the public, and in the absence of facts, unscrupulous publications will just make up stories. Certainly dating a high-profile athlete of any type comes with a lot of pros and cons. On the plus side, the exposure can be and is often used to the partner's benefit. A woman seen on the arm of a driver will almost certainly see a huge bump in their social media following. I see it all the time. The public's appetite for information about these women is beyond belief. My wives and girlfriends video is my top rating video every single year. The public just can't get enough of this type of content. I'll give you an example. Last year, if I put up an Instagram post of Nicholas Latifi, without his girlfriend, I might get 5,000 likes. Put Sandy in the picture and suddenly that's 3 to 5 times. Same with Lance Stroll when he was going out with model Sarah Pagliaroli. On the negative side, there is often a lot of hate directed to the girlfriend of a driver, and particularly in the early stages. But unfortunately, that's often a byproduct of social media. Those business-savvy partners will use this exposure to their advantage. And why shouldn't they? Of course, some drivers may not take too kindly to suddenly their partner becoming very, very popular on social media. Anyway, despite these challenges, many Formula One drivers have successfully maintained long relationships with their partners. Take Seb. He's been in a long-term relationship with his partner, Hannah Prater, for over a decade. She rarely attended the track. When she did, like Abu Dhabi, last race of the year, we'd refrain from posting images of her and the pair's children because Seb asked us. But all of the other wives and girlfriends of the current crop of 20 are perfectly fine with it. Another important factor in maintaining relationships in the world of Formula One is trust. And trust me, if you want the world's best online staff training, head to Canady.com. Hundreds of short, sharp videos designed to have your team wowing customers in no time. There's a link to the Canady.com website in the description below. So when you've watched the rest of this video, please give it a click. Drivers must trust their partners and vice versa. It's pretty tricky for a driver though, because there are so many women throwing themselves at drivers 24/7. You wouldn't believe the sort of messages and offers drivers receive via social media. At the track, they're also subject to advances, and their fame has reached a point now where people are even turning up at drivers' homes, hoping to score a selfie, autograph, or even more. These guys are more and more being seen as rock stars, and it takes a special person to be able to resist the temptation that is all around them. Of course, it can be tempting, particularly when it first happens. But do drivers want to date a fan? Some have, some simply don't. They see through it. I guess the last thing they want is to be taken for a ride, just being seen as a ticket into the fast lane that F1 offers. The shirt? Yeah. Do you want it? One of my members will end up with this shirt. I got it last year at the Miami GP. I've worn it once on a video for about 10 minutes. It can be yours. All you have to do is make sure you're a member of the channel, not a subscriber, a member. And how do you become a member? Just hit the join button, which is next to subscribe, and you might have to find it on your laptop, and bear in mind that some countries don't allow memberships. On May 26, 2023, I'll have a look through all the comments and I'll pick one from a member, and that member will win this Alpine shirt. It could be you. These days, all drivers have a team of people around them, people who have their best interests at heart. There's a trainer who will often be the first to realise when a female comes onto the scene and will suss them out quickly. And then there's a driver's manager who's focused on his driver's racing future and will be taking a very in-depth look into the person who could potentially become a distraction for their charge. Certainly the driver and his entourage are close, and they spend most of their time at the racetrack together. It's certainly rare these days that drivers are out till the wee hours at nightclubs or bars. As you've seen, they have strict schedules, so relationships tend to develop when drivers are away from the track, perhaps during summer and winter breaks. Flexibility is also key in maintaining relationships in the world of Formula One. A driver who's been single for some time and finds himself in a relationship will have to make compromises and often has to adjust his schedule to accommodate a new partner. So focused are these men on their career that they will often be unwilling to bend. Taking time off from training or missing an event in order to attend a more important event to their partner can be seen as a big sacrifice on their part. A new partner also means a driver will most likely have to socialise with a group of people he's never met, and sometimes that too can be seen as an inconvenience. If that happens, it can place relationships under great pressure. It's fair to say maintaining romantic relationships as a Formula One driver can be challenging given the huge exposure they and the sport are experiencing. But it's not impossible, as many in this group have proven. In short, these 20 drivers are in high demand. There are thousands and thousands of women, and perhaps even some men, keen to be on the arm of an F1 driver. But it's an elite group, and if you were hoping to end up on the arm of an F1 driver, you'd have to say the odds are against it. With that said, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and become a member because you could win that magnificent Alpine t-shirt. You'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com. Head to kimillman.com for a range of wall art, F1 photo books, signed driver prints and merchandise, and for my best images live from the track. And during the week, go to Instagram and search at Kim Illman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. I know pretty much all of the girlfriends. They've all attended the track at some... Oh, the dog.